And hello to you all, and at last it is that time. Unfortunately, we have now got to start preparing the Focus for the body shop, the third time in the car's life that she has ever been to a body shop, assuming that last year when we had the respray on the driver's side done, that was the second time. The first time, God knows at what age that car had the accident, and it was pretty well sorted, to be honest, apart from the paintwork on the rear passenger quarter. It has never been good. It's always been slightly faded, and in about a week's time the process begins to sorting that out. But first, before we take it to the body shop, I've got to take some things off and take a few little things off that I don't really want the body shop to be messing with. I prefer to do it myself, i.e. door cards off, door handle off, side strips off. Rear passenger quarter has also got to come off because I would like to put some wax oil in there at some point at the end of the whole process. So I'm going to do all this today, and yeah, unsurprisingly it started raining as usual. We've had a bit of a heat wave, and we're getting some torrential thunderstormy / lightning weather. So I'm just going to bug my Focus out the garage and get cracking. There we go. Now, the point in this video and why I'm actually doing this, guys, is the truth is I like to save costs where I can. And there's anything that I can do to help my bodywork man do the job quickly, much more quicker and efficient, and allow me to save some money on labour, because ultimately it does add up and labour costs are expensive. So I really would recommend do what you can and make it as easy for your body shop as you can. And to be honest with you, I'm in a position where I understand my car quite well. I know how it's fitted together, and the first and last thing I really speak about when I talk to the bodywork man is to make sure that if there's any clips that I think that might break or anything to be careful of, then I discuss that with him before I leave the car with him. And that's the idea, that if there's anything you're aware about that you think, well, I need to let him know about that, because it will make their job easier. It will hopefully mean that there's less of a cost for yourself in the long run, because something's broken, it's got to be replaced, and the job's delayed again, so you get the car back even quicker. So these little things kind of help, and I like to help wherever I can. So there's a few things that I'm going to do today, plus it's content as well. The truth is, this side of the car is not very good. I have a new wing. It is continuing to rain down here. This panel is just, yeah, you can tell it's faded. It's just rubbish. It's always been like this. I mean, we're getting stone chips and everything. And there is, I don't know if the camera can pick this up, but there is actually a crease where my finger is. There's like a straight crease where I actually noticed that not long ago. The truth is, I think it's been there for some time, but again, things like that, I'll point it out to my bodywork man so he can he knows what sort of areas to watch out for straight away, instead of being caught out, because that would certainly catch somebody out when they start filling and they notice that it's not even. The bottom of this sill has just got to be looked at. Just this end piece I think is starting to go. It looks really good on camera, but it's not. As I say, it's just this needs pulling out because we've got an indented in the sill and we've got something going on there as well. But it actually looks really straight. But as I discovered on the driver's side, there was a hole kind of here on the driver's side, randomly in the middle of the sill, and it had been fillered. So there's definitely been some bodgery going on before I bought this car. But the rest of that bodgery is about to disappear because that side's been sorted. The boot has been adjusted last year when that was resprayed as well. And this was a lot of faffing around. We got a new badge here. This was expensive. This was not too bad, but still expensive for what it is. I have a brand new Z-Tech badge to replace this one because it's not good compared with a new one. I mean, I'll show you the one on the other side now before we start. The car's already wet. It's probably the wettest this car's been in quite a while. If I show you that, there is actually a stark difference when they're shiny, when the car is nice and dry. But anyway, this wing has fitted perfectly well, and I've got another one of this. I believe that these are made in Korea using the old Ford tooling. That is why they fit quite nicely, even though the tooling after many uses has got a bit blunt around the corners, which is why sometimes I think the measurements are just not quite as accurate as what they used to be. And I do believe that the Koreans or the Chinese, or I think it's actually, no, they were made in Taiwan. So that's the place they make them. I believe they do have the old Ford tooling to do this job. They may have made their own copy. If it is a copy of the Ford tooling, it's a very good copy. Anyway, the first thing I'm going to do on camera is this. This has never sat right. It's bent at the end. And by the way, this trim here, it's impossible to get. I will tell you that for now. These trims are very easy to get, but these are unique to the 3 doors. Okay, now for the 5-door models, these are easy to obtain for both front and back door. Easy enough. 3 doors? Nah, no chance. But I was very, very fortunate. And I think up here, I've got my... Yep, there it is. And I have shown you that on camera before. That is a brand new old stock one. I bought that from Spain, believe it or not. The shipping costs were more than the item in total, and I paid a good sum for that. And it's because the one on the car is just not good at all. And I've had to actually keep it on with Gorilla Glue, believe it or not. The old tape had actually gone, and I'm going to make a really good job of this. Yeah, Gorilla Glue, not good, and it's not even the clear stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is this. Oh, come on. Oh, God, the old double-sided tape is still on. Come on. I don't care about this now. It's coming off. Actually, I did quite a good job with this. See, what happens is you see a lot of Focuses. It's still tacky. You see a lot of Focuses with that. I've seen a few just going around and they're just falling all over the place. On the 3 doors especially. It is a common thing for them to actually get a bit funny like this. Come on, just release. There you go. Now, the truth is, I am going to keep this as a second-hand spare. I'm probably going to tidy up all of this gunged tape. It all needs to come off. I would recommend brake cleaner to get all this off. But really, that's that. And I have got a new one of this, and this is going to be replaced because, in fact, this is actually rather good. But I just pry at the end. If you're wanting to reuse this, don't use this method because there's a risk you're just going to bend it permanently, but I don't care. I'll use a pry bar if you were putting this. Oh, yeah, you see, look, I've bent it. That's how easy it is to bend these. But I'm just going to, there we go. Lovely. By the way, guys, this is how they are attached to the car. It's just tape. It's old Ford tape, sticky tape, and it's really good stuff. But it does go dry over time, and this is why you may get them falling off. I had to really go OTT with the old Gorilla Glue. I'm going to get some of this off, even though the body shop is going to just... I will get the excess off with some a bit with my scraper. I'll just gently go over with my scraper. But the Ford tape just it lets go over time. Yeah, it's not brilliant stuff, to be honest with you. They do let go, and I've had to do a lot of Gorilla Glue just to make sure they don't fall off. Because you imagine you going down the motorway and one of them fall off, bye-bye. You're not seeing that again. You have to make sure it fits, which is why I'd never get rid of this piece in particular, because it's just second-hand. I mean, it is just worn a little bit, and it's not going to look right. If I put that one up there is brand new, okay? New old stock. You've seen it in the packaging. And it's going to look amazing compared to this. What I don't want to do is pair it up to that, because that's equally as faded. So I've got a brand new one of them in my spares over here. So that's the first job out the way. I'm just going to go over with my scrape. I mean, I just take all this. Yeah, it's nasty. But yeah, that's the idea. Anyway, how to wreck your car in 5 minutes. Plenty of Mark 1s go around looking like this. I've seen quite a few around me like this. But anyway, don't know why I've done that, because I'm going to be putting it back in there anyway. I might have to move the car slightly sideways, because I've got to actually fully open the door to actually get at the screws, because the next thing we're going to do is the door card. Just try and scrape some of this off just before we start, just gently. I mean, to be honest with you, I could make my name in this, because it's all going to be resprayed up, but I'm not going to do that, because I hate it's tempting, isn't it? That'd be a joke to the body shop. Oh, I thought I would just write my name in the door just for old sake, you know, because it's the last time you're going to see some of this paint. And this is all the original paint. This isn't. From about here is where the paint starts and goes back, and it was blended in rubbish, really bad. But this is all the original paint, so it's sad to see it go. And once you get rid of the original paint, that's it. There's a bit of the history of the car gone. But there's history, and then there's relics, and this has become a bit of a relic over time, and it just needs looking at. It's not great, but it will look so much better in a few weeks. But hard then, and this is all it takes. I mean, there will be some remnants left, but you know, with their electric sander, they're just going to get the rest of it off. I'm just going to take the big thick excess off. Look at that. Whoa. Stuff you only see on Usually Fixing and Tinkering. Other people don't show you this sort of stuff. How satisfying was that? It came off in one go. Bye bye. Ah, Gorilla Glue. Oh, come on. Lovely. Yep, we are done. A few scratches in there, but nothing but something like etch primer can't deal with, and that's the stuff they'll be using for that sort of thing. Right, next job is, well, firstly, get out the way, go. It's very useful, this. I'll just pop that up there. Okay, right, next job is the door card. Now, we've done this before. The easiest way of doing it is simple. You take that cap out, you take the Phillips screw behind it, then that releases this panel. You pry forwards from this corner, pull out, push that, push this actual switch out, unclip it. This whole thing comes out in one piece. Then you pry under here and here at these points. You pop off this piece of trim here by doing that. You've got two screws there, bigger Phillips screws, one there, one there. Take those two out, the door card will be loose in the middle. And then you go around and take out all these Phillips screws. They go all along the bottom. And the reason I insisted on moving the car, I've just moved the car slightly sideways, is to get access to these two buggers. Now the truth is, I've actually got the correct tool for the job, and I'll show you. You can use a right angled screwdriver, corner screwdriver, or just one of these on a ratchet, and that's precisely what I'm going to do there. I'll just get a gentle pick. You can lose these covers really easily, but you just get your screwdriver in there and just, there we go, done. And the cap just falls off. These do go missing, so make sure you put it where you're not going to lose it, and then you've just got access to that. Tell you what, these really do wear really badly around here, these trims. The driver's one is always the worst, and I've got a decent one, but they do tend to wear around here. Nothing you can do. You can't get new old stock ones. I've tried, believe you me. I've got the parts number and everything. They were a little bit different from model to model depending on specification and what you got, but essentially they all are the same way. Now the idea is now that you can just pry forwards. Now remember, okay, right, there we go, it's unclipped. Now this is going to be a bit fiddly, so what you're going to have to do is kind of pry this way. Remember to be careful, because I've known people to sort of basically pry like this way on this end without pushing it this way, and what you can do is damage the door card. And on a free door, you do not want to be doing that whatsoever. It's getting one of these is hard, a really good one. And this one's got a few cracks where it's just expanded. This, it does expand with the sun, and I'm glad it's out the sun a lot of the time, because the sun does a lot of damage, and we've had a lot of sun today, so top tip. I'll just come this side. You've got to do a bit of wiggling to get this out. Okay, if you push it this way, it would help, but then you might have to do a little bit of wiggling. Excuse me if I've just pushed you. Just a bit taut at the top there. There we go, done. You just need to bring it this way, not this way, because you're going to damage the trim. I'll just open the handle. There we go. It's a bit tight. Now, what you'll find is you can't get it around the door handle, so I suggest you just take this out. And then we need a flat braided screwdriver, but I'll just use a pick for now because it's the only thing I've got. Come on. There we go, done. Lovely. Right, now that connector is out, so put that back in there. Then you can just easy peasy, you know. There we go, lovely. But as you can see in here, just tons of wear. This is usual. It's very common for these to actually get scratched. These can break off at the ends. I've known that to happen, but unless you're brutal, no. And the reason you don't pull these that way, this way, is because you're going to wreck the door card. This is where it latches onto, and I've seen them where somebody does that and it wrecked the door card by doing that. Anyway, that screw that we took out just earlier, it goes through here. Now I'm just going to move the tripod. Okay, now you can take the door handle assembly off now because it's actually just pinched in. That bolt is like it pushes a clip outwards, so that can actually come out pretty easy. So don't worry if that comes out the door as well. It can be put in quite easily. But now we've got the job of this one. Now to do this, you've got two tools you can use. You've got to pry underneath this bit just here. Okay, this is the bit you go for, because if you were to scratch the plastic, you're not going to see. Same with just here. Okay, now there is a little hole. There's two holes here, which alternatively you can prod through. Now there's one where my finger is down there, and there's another one somewhere up here. But if you prod through a hole just here, and I'm just going to get a screwdriver, just a normal screwdriver, and just push up through there, you can in fact probably just push it out as it is. It needs to be a right angle one, preferably. So let me get this pick and just see if I can angle this pick this way. Yeah, it's not quite enough, so I'd recommend that you do the opposite thing really. You can just get a flat braid screwdriver and just pry up at the bottom here, or you can get a trim panel, but I warn you, it's going to take a very long time to do that, so it can be rather tricky, this. But the other alternative is if you've got a little hole, and what I mean is by a little hole, if you've got a dash where somebody's had to go with a pick before, use that, because you're not going to do any more damage. So literally just pick in and pry. And again, the same down here, just pry up. There we go, it's already gone, it's already started going. In fact, I haven't even damaged the plastic there. See what I mean? I've got that movement now. Now you stick that pick in there and you get the flat blade on the other side. Excuse me, I'm just mindful of the camera, so just keep prying until we get somewhere. There we go, done. Now I've got full control over that now. There we go, done. And there we go, simple as you like. And I can report no damage to the trim nor that whatsoever. So there's a couple of ways of going about it, but you see there's a little hole here where my finger is, just this one here, and ideally you could get a pick, but a thicker pick, so you can actually push it out essentially. But that's the way I do it anyway. It's been a long day at work, and I've come to do another video for you guys. and it's a rather boring one, but you know, everything's going really well with this car. I am so glad she's where she is. This is the wettest the car has ever been, and my policy is not to drive this car in the wet if all but necessary. The day is booked for the body shop. I'll be driving it to the body shop on that day. If it's raining, it's raining, so what? It's stuff like that you can't avoid. If I've booked to go to a car show, and unless it's absolutely tipping it down, I will go. And do you know what? I've loved this relationship with the car. I actually enjoy driving it slightly less now, but in a more selected manner. That's the length of screw we're talking about. You are going to need a good Phillips to get these two, and there's just one here. So once again, I'm doing like a bloggy video. I know I did this video last year because I did exactly the same job last year before the paint shop, but you know, this is usually fixing and tinkering. I do not turn down the opportunity to make more content. As much as this is really frustrating, these screws really need a push, so you often find you pushing at the door card quite a bit. I would recommend that you take these two screws out before taking the outer ones off. I'd probably recommend that. Now, one of the main reasons I want to do this myself is because I'm kind of aware how things go on and off. Body shops, they deal with all sorts of cars, but I don't want them breaking something that could be quite rare on this car. And there's nothing massively rare about this, although the door cards are, as I say, quite difficult to get hold of. But there is a piece of trim that you will find it difficult to get without being broken, and that is this piece of trim here on the inside of the mirror. It is for the manual adjustment models, so we're talking about CLs and Z-Techs. That's it. LXs, gears, ST170s, electric. This will be a blank, and that one would have an electric control on that side. But this, they break. I'll show you that why they break in a second. So we're going to twist off my knob, you know, big black knob. Sorry for those who seem to be offended by that. What you do, and the correct way of getting this off, is by pulling it this way. Okay, we're doing a twist motion. Okay, now that is basically that clip has come out of that hole. Now, the second thing I might want to do, you can open the window for this, but you have got to, thank you, I've just done it, ideally push this out, the adjustment, so that's all nice and free. Now, the way it's hinged on the sides, you see those clips there? What people do is they get to this stage and they just go and they snap. And getting these for the manual windows is difficult because they were only available on the CL and Z-Tech. Now, to be fair, the Z-Tech is quite a popular spec, the most popular and common Mark 1 you will find. But how many of these I've seen broken before? Honestly, I've been looking in the scrappers for one of these for ages, and it took me ages to get. I think one of these was broken. I can't remember which one, but obviously they're not interchangeable. Obviously, you can't put that one on the driver's side and vice versa. So you need a specific passenger and driver's side one. That makes it more difficult. So if I've got a broken passenger one, I tell you, getting a new one, a second-hand one that isn't broken on those clips, good luck. Now, for this reason, I'm going to have to potentially do this off camera if it's not going to play ball. Ah, it has. Now, can you see what's happened? These clips can just snap. Now, these are supposed to be on there. Okay, potentially, I think I've seen them where they are still attached to this, but it doesn't matter as long as these clips are not broken. Ah, and as you can see, this is the one I bought. So this was the broken one then. This is from a scrapyard. I might get rid of these markings. Yeah, that's why. And that's a lesson. Right, you're going to need your screwdriver now because we're just going to take all these out. Oh, come on, Andrew. Here we go. Just take all these little screws out and don't drop him into the soil. No, no, no. These can be tricky buggers. I've got quite a few of these lying around in my spares, so if I do lose a few, we'll come back to it. Obviously, on this side, it's different. Let me just get my screwdriver. There you go. watching this live, and oh, don't tell me I've bought the wrong Phillips. I am right-handed. Here we go. Lovely. I mean, I didn't really need to have, didn't need to move this car over. I just moved it a few minutes ago, just before I started taking the door card apart. Okay, door is now completely and utterly free. Yeah, it's completely free. Right, now it's just hinged now. Now all we need to do is just hinge it away. Now it is just clamped down on this, but what I would do, I mean, you can put the window up. It may help, but see what I mean? It's just come off. They're not stuck down very hard. They're nowhere near as hard as Rover 45 ones. Those door cards, you take them off, easy. Putting them back on, that's another story. But it's almost like they just made this so easy. Did Ford know that the regulators and all the other bits in the door were going to go wrong? Some of you may have noticed I am missing an insulation pad. Yeah, I threw mine in the bin. They do absolutely nothing. I just can't. They didn't make a difference. Honestly, guys, no difference. I mean, they say that, well, Ford wouldn't have just plunked it there for no reason. They definitely put it there. Well, I can't fathom a reason for that. It's not exactly going to protect you in a crash, and it certainly made no difference to the sound. So, sorry. I think they were kind of, I don't know what they were looking at when they put these pads on the doors. Right, now, next job, once we peel this, now I did do a lot of cutting the last time I came in here, but might have to do some again. It doesn't really help. You need to get a blade to cut this, by the way, guys. Oh, for flick's sake. That does happen, I'm afraid. They are just not very good around certain areas. I hate these things. I just hate these things. The one on the driver's side is even more butcher. This one is just rubbish. These weather shields are just rubbish. Now, the next thing on my agenda is to get access to that bugger there. See that one? These are the Torx bolts that hold the handle in place. Now, I might have covered this before, but basically there is a screw that goes in the back of here. Now, I can't remember which one comes out first. I believe it's this piece, but it's held in by a Torx bolt. We need to take that Torx out. I think it's a T20, and we can start taking these out. By the way, somebody commented that my door handles look quite faded. They all go like this. The truth is, I could get some new old stock ones because this and this are going to come off just now. But when you actually use plastic renovation products that I use, same with this, you know, at the end of the day, I want to keep this because this hasn't started rusting. There's a metal strip inside here, and when the strip rusts, they basically expand and it causes the rubber to bubble. It's nasty, really nasty. That's why I've kept that there, and being a free door, it's, yeah, very hard to get hold of. If you watch one of my latest videos, the ST1, the Focus Mark 1 RS at the Evans Halshaw meet, it had the bubbling effect here. That is exactly what you don't want. That's just, it looks nasty. But anyway, what you need to do is essentially aim your Torx screwdriver, and I'm going to use potentially a Torx screwdriver through there. Is there another one at the back there? Ah, yes, yes. Right, we've got a couple. Now, one of them, I believe that you take that one out, okay? Take it out so you can hinge the handle out. That one, you only unscrew a little bit. Do not take that one out completely. I'm doing this rather ad hoc, and there we go, lovely. And if I drop it, it just goes into the bottom of the door. Yep. Now, it's really important that you can take that screw out, but you must leave that screw in. Just slacken it off until the point is basically where you feel no resistance, where it's not tight anymore. But don't let it drop out, because that's what keeps the mechanism together. You really don't, the whole thing will split apart otherwise. Now, what I'll say is, that's pretty damn stuck, but it should. There we go. He's absolutely stuck against the, now just hook it out, and there we go. It basically hooks in like that. the gasket's in good condition. It's just a bit, ooh, yeah, I don't know what's happened there, but it just needs a bit of a clean, to be honest. Right, and just take the door handle off. So basically all you do is just slide it this way, because you've taken that screw out, and all you do is slide it this way, hook out, done. There we go, done. It's as simple as that. It's really simple. And just pop those in there. I've taken my hat off because it got a bit hot just then. It's boiling out here today. Just take the gaskets off. I don't want these in situ whatsoever. Now these are just, yeah, just wiggle them off. They just sit in like that, and it's a bit dirty around here, but all the good. Now these gaskets you don't necessarily have to replace unless you think they've gone cracked or hard. Well, mine look good, and I'm just going to probably give them a clean and reuse them. But that is that job done. That's never been off before in 10 years of ownership, would you believe? But you see that screw there? See what I mean? That screw is there. You want that to remain in there. You don't want that to fall out, because the whole thing will just, yeah, that's what will happen. Almost lost the door. That's a good way of doing that. So now we just put that back on. We're all set on this side. We are completely set. I'm going to leave the trim off for this reason, because obviously they're going to take the door mirror out. You want to take the door mirror out, just take that, I believe it's a 10 mil. You know, it could be a 10 mil. I think it is anyway, to take the whole mirror out. 10 mil, one 10 mil bolt, and the whole thing pull straight out. If it's an electric mirror, then obviously you won't have this. You have a bit of wiring that goes down here, but I don't have the wiring loom for this door mirror. I really don't. The Z-Techs were never given the wiring, so if you want to convert them to electric mirrors, good luck. And same for the CL, they just didn't have the wiring. Now I'm going to take a step into the car. The last thing I want to do today is to get this ridiculous card off the inside. Now these, the way all this is put together is just, they're not great. Now ideally you want to take the seat out to be able to do this, but I've actually found that's not entirely necessary. It's just a bit more aggro. Now hopefully my camera isn't going to be too much of a pain. We are losing a bit of light, but anyway, the best thing to do is to take this off. Now there isn't really a technique for this. It depends from car to car. Some of the clips are missing off mine because a lot of this has had to come out for body work that was done years ago because of its rear ender. A lot of this was taken out. Yeah, I mean, I've got some dodgy trim up here, but yeah, it's not, this is the worst part of a Mark 1, I would say. This is just, it's just nasty plastic. It's nasty 90s plastic. But anyway, this whole card is held in by a few little pieces. Now the first thing we got to do is we got to break this off. Now there is just a clip up here, and if you just pry towards you, there we go, you see that's gone there. Okay, now there is some side clips that you have to just pull sideways. There we go. Now what has happened is the clip has stayed on. That's normal, and I'm missing one. Yeah, I am missing a couple of clips. Believe me, these clips, I can't get them from anywhere. I'd have to go to another free door. If you've got a free door Focus and you've got one of these clips, give me a shout out and we could do a deal on the clips, because I need another one of them. So one of them goes there, because obviously this piece of trim obviously needs two of these to be held on properly. So please let me know. And oh yes, we forgot this. Now these are very rare as well. You're going to need a pick to take this out. Let me get one. I mean, this one has been damaged. I've actually got a couple of these, but I don't really mind reusing this one since it's been, a few people have been at this over the years. Not me, but this is the correct way of doing it. Now these clips can be a bit funny, and people can break these clips. In fact, I'd recommend before you do that, you do this, because it makes it easier. What happens is this. As I say, it's just this nasty honeycomb plastic. I've known Doctor Who toys made out of this. Ugh. It is, honestly. I've got Doctor Who toys when I was little, made of the same material. Ugh. Now, the whole thing will just, yeah, fall over the place. Just pop this clip somewhere. I'm not going to lose it. I've got a couple of them, and they're going to here. And the one on my driver's side actually falls off, but this one doesn't. So that will give you some wiggle room. As I say, if anybody's got one of these clips, so basically I think you've got two parts to it. I think this part actually should be attached. Yeah, it is. So I've got the top bit. I've got the inside part, and it's come off. So I need to take this off. Well, I'm going to do this off camera, but that bit should be attached to there. So if anybody's got this part of the clip for there, you've got a 3-door Focus, get in touch. I'm not massively over, I'm not desperate for one, which is why I've really not bothered to do it, because this is just horrible. But it would make sense while I'm doing this, because this has got to come off anyway. Now, to be honest with you, you could take the belt out with this Torx bit, but I'm just going to leave it in situ. At the end of the day, it's not too much of a faff. Again, I believe these are unique to the 3-doors. Basically, anything on a 3-door is kind of unique from the dashboard. The dashboard is the same per model. The center console is the same, but the seats, the door cards, the trim, the B pillar trim, the C pillar trim, it's all unique, and that's why you've got to kind of protect these things as best as possible. But now I'm going to do some removing of my whole body, and it's very, very clean and tidy under here. I'm really pleased that this has gone down well. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to have to kind of, I think, now it's whether I can get away without taking that. I did not bring a torque wrench for that. It might be wise to take this seat belt anchor out. Oh, it's all coming back. Oh, I've got a bit of carpet stuck to this. I had all this repainted ages ago, but this is the area you need to look at for corrosion. But God, it's so dry in here. Now, I'm not going to get distracted. There is a clip. Okay, now there's a couple of clips that you need to be aware about. I just wanted to kind of show you that side, but we're going to tip this seat up and move this forward. Now, there's one clip. Now, these clips are the usual. These clips get broken so much, it's untrue. And you know why? People just yank at them and then they break apart. I've seen people where they've just put self-tapping screws in this. Now, you've got to be careful of this, but you just leer the middle section apart. Now, this might take some goes with a pick. There's a few tools I use. There is a couple of techniques. It depends how easily they come off. The one on my driver's side is woeful. Now, this one should come out. Good old-fashioned flat blade to the rescue. I've just laid in and it's come out. Oh, I thought I'd lost it then. It's just literally a peg. And it is like the one on the beard pillar, so that's going to go down there, and all you need is just to pry out this clip, and I'll just push from the back, and the whole thing comes out. And I'm just going to pop that there. Now the other one is down here. It's in a ridiculous place, if I remember. I believe it could be on the other side. Yeah. So put the seat back forward. I believe it's down there. I can't actually see it. I can't remember where it was. I've got a feeling. Ah, no, it's here. It's here in the most inaccessible position. Yeah, this one's plain ball. This is with the pick. This is a good one. There we go. Oh, it's come out with the clip. Oh, that's handy. Put that there. Now, the whole thing is free. There is no more clips holding this in place. So, now this is where really you need this seat belt to be gone. But this is now not held in by anything. Obviously, on the inside, which you can't see, there's a couple of clips here, but they'll just pop out with the door card when you pull it this way. So I'm trying to have a go here on camera. This is live, by the way, and give it a tug, but I wouldn't tug too much. because what ideally is going to happen is you're going to rip this out, and I've seen people where they've done that. It's not substantial, that door pocket. There's a couple of ways of doing this. It's a bit tricky. You heard that? There we go. Now the whole card is now released, so we've just kind of got to shuffle it up. So again, it might, as I say, I do not want to be faffing around getting these seats out. I mean, to be fair, I haven't got the Torx bolt to take the seat belt off, and I don't want to be taking the seats out. It's just, it's too much of a faff. I'd rather just do it the hard way and take about 3 million times as longer. I'm sure you've been in the same position. So if we just move the seat forward, I've got to make sure is that the clips are not scraping. No, they're okay. They're all good. Now, what I'm going to do is put the seat. I'm going to put this seat pad down again. Oh, this is how not to do this. There we go. Out. Oh. Out you go. Now you can see the construction of this card. It is starting to kind of lift up on the edge, but I'll glue that back down. We've got some. We've got the big massive clip that goes somewhere down. I think it's in there. It's just like a guide. And then we've got another clip there which goes below the seatbelt mounting point. We've got another clip there that goes, I think, there. This is gaffer tape covering up a hole. It's typical Ford, that is. I will say, I don't think, judging by the dust, no. I don't recall taking this door card off ever. So I am going to have to do a lot of dusting. And once again, can you help me out, guys? I've got these clips here, but I think I'm missing another one. Yeah, I think there should be one here. Look at that. So again, if you've got one of these clips that you could give to me, I mean, if you've got that and if you've got that, again, I'm doing a shout out, guys. Just help me out here. I'm missing a couple of clips, but I know that works. And oh yeah, we've got daylight. That's where your trim goes through. And oh, interesting. So we have got the original. Yeah, it's got like a soundproof pad. Yeah, these were fitted originally, just sound deafening pads against the actual wing itself. But this is the construction that you won't see in necessarily, well, in a 5-door you will see this, because this is kind of where you open the door. But in a 3-door, this is just primered. It's not really protected at all, but it looks good down there. The light is very poor, but this is where you look at the bottom end of your sill, and that's good. Oh my goodness. That's waxy. Oh, there's wax down here. Yes. Oh God, that is greasy. That is waxy. That's good. I haven't put any wax into this sill. So maybe when this car had some bodywork, it may have been internally waxed on this sill. That's really good to know. I feel it. I can feel it on the inside. That's really good. The other thing is, obviously, we've had the plate. Now, obviously, this is where they go. I'm just going to inspect it again, but it's fine. Sometimes they can spread. I mean, this is the train arm bush bolts that go all the way through. But they can't. Sometimes the rust can spread quite a bit this way if you let it go. But I've had a plate put in. It's a functional plate. And somebody broke my clip on the wiring. Yep, they just knackered it when they basically wanted to cut into the corner. But it's nice to see that it's all actually pretty solid down here still. It's just dirty. I mean, might need to treat some of that a little bit, just a little bit around the edges. But I'm just going to give this a bit of a clean with a wet wipe, because that's all that's required, and it's just dusty. I've never been in this, but this is probably the only part of the car I've not actually seen since I bought it. I know it sounds weird. I've not been everywhere in my car, maybe apart from here. But I'm really pleased that it's waxy. That gives me a lot of confidence. But inevitably, there is always a casualty when you are taking apart bits of the car that have never come apart in quite a long time. Yep, that's the clip, and this plastic piece was part of the door card. Yep, it's come off here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some Gorilla Glue and get that back on in the right place. I'm pretty sure it's orientated that way, the same as that. Oh, actually, no, that way. It's the opposite way. I'll get it back on. So it's not broken, it's just come off. And I'll Gorilla Glue it back on so we can actually get that ready. So I'll put that in my pot of things. This is where we finish off here. I am just going to clean out as much of this as possible. It would take me 5 minutes. It definitely needs a good clean out, but we are ready. I'm going to get this home in the Rover so we can make a repair to the door card. I've got the front door card over there, which I will take back home, and we are ready. As far as I'm aware, there is nothing really much to be done here. This is just so I think it might help the bodywork men if they need to actually inspect the inside, if they're a bit funny about the condition. But from what I can see, that's a solid sill. The other side, when I took that door card off and looked down, crispy, rusty, flakes everywhere. I knew it was gone. And they always tend to go probably about that much from the end, but if you leave it, it can spread like anything. But I'm going to leave this here, knowing that I now got to open the door from that side. Stupid me. Yeah, we are going to leave this here, and the next time you see this car, it will be driven to the body shop, and the process of improving this car can continue. And do you know what? It's been wonderful having all of you guys watch me on my travels and my bloggy exploits, because without your support I wouldn't be bothered getting this tripod out. And I fear that, you know, whatever video I make, it's appreciated, and you may have learned something from this. I certainly have. Just be very gentle with your rear door card. It is always best to probably take the back seat out and probably dismantle half the interior just to take one piece out. But honestly, you don't. Just be careful. As I say, these things just tend to happen, but it's not irreparable. It can be repaired. I'm going to, and obviously with bits like this, you know, it's make, do and mend, because this is a good door card. It just needs a bit of repairing here and there. A little bit of the vinyl needs to be looked at, but that's the kind of thing you do when you do these sort of jobs. You sort of repair one thing and you kind of do several jobs as well. But I'm going to leave this here with the last thing of the day. As some people might have noticed, can't even get it off now. Doing this on camera. At the same time, I don't really mind if it slips. No, come on, come off, come off, come off. I have got a brand new one of these on the shelf, ready to go on. In fact, I'm going to show you the difference now on camera. There we go. And typical Ford, it's just the lacquer's gone all the way around the badge. Now, if I just take you in here, I've got the brand new one sitting on the side. Yeah, you can't see this, but I'm going to show you. That cost a dear penny. That's the parts number and everything if you want it. Old one, new one. There is a difference, I can tell you. I don't know if the camera, I don't think the camera is showing you enough. But this is a decent second-hand spare, which I will keep. But this is going on brand new because we're doing it properly. New wing, new badge, new trim, repaired door card, but the same door handle. Some things don't change, just don't change it. Anyway guys, I will see you in another episode, and here we go for another adventure. Take care guys.